This is K1DBC. All stations, please stand by. This is K1DBC. All stations, please stand by. The Denver Radio Club starts in 5 minutes. All stations, please stand by. The DRC Learning Net starts in 5 minutes. This is K1DBC. The DRC Learning Net will start in 1 minute. All stations, please stand by while the repeaters are placed into net mode.
PL off.
Good evening, hello, and welcome back. This is Daron. Welcome back to the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net. My call sign is Kilo 1 Delta Bravo Charlie. My name is Daron, Delta Oscar Romeo Oscar November, and I am Net Control. This is a casual conversation where we can discuss ham radio and STEM topics in general, and thankfully we have plenty of combined experience and expertise. We meet on every Wednesday except the third Wednesday of the month at 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time on 145.490, linked with 448.625. Both have a negative 600 kilohertz offset, meaning you transmit on 144.890 or 448.025 respectively. This net can be broken at any time for emergency or priority traffic by using the word break. Is there any emergency or priority traffic at this time? You can also contact us via email at drclearningnet@gmail.com, hamlearningnet@groups.io, groups.io/g/ham-learningnet. We also stream and archive our nets on youtube.com/WEREGR8. You can also search on YouTube for K1DBC or W0TX. This is K1DBC Net Control. We will begin by inviting Elmers only to check in with or without traffic. All Elmers, please check in now.
Alpha 0, Juliet Kilo. AA 0, JK, Red Nevada. Good evening with traffic.
All right, Net Control would like to welcome and acknowledge the following Elmers. AA0JK Fred with traffic. Thank you for checking in. To the net, we'll be taking in alphabetical groups based on the first letter of the suffix of your call sign. That would be the first letter after the number in your call sign. If you can, please try to use IT phonetics as you check in and indicate if you have traffic or questions as you do. If your suffix begins with the letters A through M, Alpha through Mike, please check in now.
Kilo Echo 0, Kilo Charlie Golf. Chris in Denver, no traffic, no questions.
Kilo Sierra 0 Echo, KS0E, Alex in Denver.
All right, this is Net Control, Denver, K1DBC. I'd like to welcome knowledge following check-ins, KE0, KCG Chris, and KS0E Alex. One more time, if your call suffix begins with the letters A through M, Alpha through Mike, and you'd like to check in just for the count or any questions, please call now. All right, this is K1DBC. Might be a quiet net tonight, but I'll go ahead and open up the whole alphabet. If you'd like to check into the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net, we're taking all call suffixes A through Z. Alpha through Zulu, please check in now with your name, call sign, and let us know if you have any traffic or questions. Please call now.
Kilo Echo 0, Papa Sierra Romeo, John, Aurora. No traffic and no questions, just for the numbers.
All right. I'd like to welcome all the following check-ins. KE0PSR, John, thanks for checking in. One more call at the moment. If you'd like to check into the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net, we're taking all call suffixes A through Z, Alpha through Zulu. If you have any traffic questions, comments, or anything, or just for the count, please call now.
November 0, Tango, Romeo, Papa, Jim in Lakewood. Good evening.
All right, in that time we had N0TRP Jim with checking in. Sorry if I missed you had traffic. If you did, I'll call back on you here in just a few minutes. But one more call if you have any comments, questions, or any check-ins. Excuse me. At the moment, we're taking all check-ins for the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net. Please call now.
November 1, Golf Uniform Mike, Peter.
Kilo 0, Yankee Echo Sierra, Ken in Broomfield, no traffic.
All right, in that time we had N1GUM Peter and K0YES Ken. I'll make another call just because we haven't had too many just so far, but if anybody else wants to check in just at the moment, we're taking all call suffixes A through Z. Let us know if you have any traffic questions, call sign and name, and please call now. Okay, this is K1DBC. Again, we are online as well if you'd like to view the video of what we're talking about here, or go back and watch any other older weekly meetings, nets, etc., things like that. You can do that, or if you're not licensed, you can always come in and chat online as well. With that, though, I guess I'll go ahead and just pass it over to Fred. A0JK, the net is yours. Go ahead.
A0JK, good evening, everyone. And just wanted to point out that the ARRL put up a note there to remind everyone who is applying for amateur radio license or upgrading and taking a test or any transaction with the FCC to make sure that they have an FRN number, using their FRN numbers. So if you know anybody or are listening, anticipating taking the technician license or upgrading to any of your license, to make sure that you've got an FRN number prior to taking the test, and have that with you when you go for your testing. And information-wise, to get that FRN number can be found on the ARRL's website. Just go and bring up their website and go to their search window there and type in FRN, and it will bring up all the information there that will help you and direct you towards getting an FRN number if you're not already licensed at the time. And it looks like severe weather season has already started. Seems like it's a little bit early, but judging from some of the news reports and everything that have been coming in, they've already had some tornadoes out in the eastern part of the state, and of all things, hail. Oh boy, I'm not looking forward to any of that. And heavy rains. But as the season progresses, we're going to see this probably move in closer to the Front Range. So I'm hoping that we've got plenty of spotters out there, designated spotters. And if you have an interest in that, you might consider getting a spotter's license. so that you can make reports concerning any weather that severe weather that you might encounter in your area, and be able to report that to the National Weather Service. That's it from here for the moment. Back to net control, AA0JK.
All right, AA0JK Fred, this is K1DBC. Yeah, thanks for passing that info. Yeah, ARL had a story that they ran on the 27th, just a couple of days ago, or just yesterday it seems like, but they maybe took it down or something. Yeah, it was FCC auto registration feature for exam applicants to be discontinued. So, yeah, it's going to require all applicants must, as you mentioned, a FCC FRN number. No longer will Social Security numbers be available to be provided, so that you need to get an FRN number before you take your test. And unfortunately, VEs aren't going to be able to use the Social Security number method anymore. So, very cool. ARL.org. Just if you do search for FRN, there's a few things here. Yeah, what to bring. Hopefully, they kind of just go over that. Yeah, it looks like they go over that here. So. Yeah, and then Colorado severe weather. Yeah, lots of things going on. There's a Colorado severe weather net, or it's coloradosevereweather.net is the website, but it is a net that is run for the severe weather. Looks like it takes place first Tuesday of each month at 8 p.m. Mountain on the SkyHub Link repeater system. So again, more info on the that net coloradosevereweather.net. All right, yeah, thanks for bringing all that up there, Fred. AA0JK, this is K1DBC, we're coming into the severe weather season, so you can always check into the National Weather Service, NWS Skywarn program, weather.gov/Skywarn, as Fred mentioned, so very neat. With that, anyone have any comments, questions in regards to what Fred had brought up there? Please comment.
K0KCG question.
Yeah, KCG, go ahead.
Well, I just wondered how many people do the spotting, the storm spotting, who are on the net tonight.
Great question there, K0KCG Chris. Yeah, I know that during one of our meetings, we had the Skywarn team, one of them, Scott Intrican, give a presentation, and unfortunately we were able to get our Skywarn spotter numbers through that, but I'm not sure how many people actually participate in that. But anyone on the net participate in Skywarn spotting or anything in regards to that, go ahead.
AA0JK, we're a spotter. We got our number.
It sounds like an interesting activity. What exactly is involved?
JK.
Yeah, AA0JK, Fred, go ahead.
AA0JK, to get your spotter number, you just basically have to go through a formal training session, which is quite simple. No tests or anything like that. And once you've participated in that training session, as Daron pointed out earlier, we did have them come to the Denver Radio Club and give them one of those. That's when we got a lot of us got our spotter numbers. But if you go in and look that up on the National Weather Service, you'll find a listing where they are giving their next classes, and take note of that. And if you find where they're having one close to your area in your vicinity, go in and take the opportunity to take that course and get your number. AA0JK, back to net control.
All right, perfect there. Thanks, Fred. A0JK. Yeah, general info on them. If you go to weather.gov/skywarn, if you go to weather.gov/BOU, as in Boulder, /spot, let's see if you need to do this. spot_training. So that's weather.gov/BOU/spot_training. That's kind of what Fred was mentioning there. They have a calendar listing there of some upcoming Skywarn spotter training classes, and it's one upcoming on May 13th. It looks like potentially online. Let me drop here for a moment. All right, this is K1DBC. I must have closed what I had. Oh, here it is. In general, a Skywarn spotter works as a volunteer for Skywarn, National Weather Service, in order to give a spotter reports. So your spotter number, location, time of event, and a detailed weather report. And they kind of go by some standard measurements, like a pea size, hail, a penny, nickel, quarter, things like that. And then have some sort of pretty good descriptions of different weather events, hail, tornadoes, wind gusts, heavy rain, things like that, and then general guidelines for other things. So, yeah, it's just kind of giving them a better look at the weather throughout the city, or throughout the country, really, where they don't have equipment placed. So it's just a basic weather reporting. So hopefully that kind of answered your question there, KCG. But if you have any follow-up, go ahead.
KCG, no follow-up. That I think that answered my question. Get me started. I'll go look that stuff up online.
All right, sounds good. This is K1DBC Net Control. I don't see anybody else indicated they have any other traffic questions or comments at the moment, but if anybody does have any comments, questions, check-ins, anything in regards to what we've spoken about so far, anything else you want to bring up, please call now.
TRP.
Yeah, N0TRP. Jim, go ahead.
Yeah, N0TRP here. Just related to the severe weather. Just kind of been working on what to do for when thunderstorms come along, disconnecting my antennas and power and ground and all that. And we've got, of course, antennas. You just unhook them. Same with power, just unplug. The grounds are a little bit different because I've got grounds into a grounding bus, and don't really want to have to unscrew all the connections there, or the main connection. So I thought, well, just find me a knife switch. Actually, I had one a while back, and then I was committed the cardinal sin of a radio amateur. I threw something out in my junk box. I actually didn't throw it out. I recycled it because I was recycling a bunch of copper. But anyway, now I'm trying to find a knife switch, preferably a copper knife switch. I'm just wondering if I've kind of poked around on the internet some to see if I could find one. Does anyone know of where one might locate a copper knife switch with a throw, say 4, 5, 6 inches long? N0TRP.
W0TX repeater.
JK.
All right, good question there. Yeah, we talked about in severe weather, inclement weather, you definitely want to unplug your antennas. But yeah, in regards to some of these other things, how do you take care of that? Yeah, I was just looking up a disconnect knife switch. It looks like one of those kind of like, just to describe it to anybody who doesn't know what that is, it looks like kind of one of the things like a mad scientist would pull in like in a laboratory or something like that. So yeah, A0JK, Fred, go ahead.
This is the time when we wish we were having our ham fests. Something like that might be found in somebody's collection of goodies there that they're giving away at the ham fest. But hopefully all this COVID situation will clear up here soon so we can get back into having our get-togethers and ham fests. But other than that, I don't really have any suggestions as to a throw switch like that, which would be really handy. But you also have to take into consideration lightning will surge. If that's not a fairly large switch, will arc right across those points. But I've got just a alligator clip that goes from my bus bar to my ground, and just a simple disconnect there from my ground bus, and my ground is disconnected. So just a thought. AA0 and JK, back to net control.
TRP.
All right, thanks for the follow-up there, A0JK. Yeah, N0TRP, go ahead.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Fred. I might do that, and then I also had the idea of maybe trying to look around for some copper bar, and then just at a scrap metal place, and maybe just try to make one or something like that. But anyway, yeah, Doran, I've been watching your screen here on what you brought up. Thanks, that's very helpful. But it needs to have quite a distance on that throw. But then if they get a direct hit, there's going to be enough current through those wires that's going to create some magnetic fields that may wipe everything out anyway. So we'll just hope and pray that doesn't happen. Anyway, thanks for the info. N0TRP, back to net.
All right, N0TRP, this is K1DBC. Yeah, glad we could be of help here, and yeah, let us know how that works out. It'd be interesting to know. All right, any other questions, comments, anything else at the moment? Anybody wants to bring up or any other check-ins, please call now. Let's see if we can make this out here. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. I don't know if somebody tried to check in there, but I really didn't get your call sign. But then I had KCG in there as well. If I'll call you back on here in just a minute, Chris. If somebody was trying to check in and your call sign is not KE0 KCG, go ahead and try once more. All right, this is K1DBC. Okay, yeah, KE0 KCG with a question. Go ahead.
Yes, I've been reading about, antennas, because I tried to make one. Well, I guess I did make one. It doesn't work too bad. It's a dipole. My other antenna that I have is just like a vertical thing for 2 meter and 70 centimeter. And yes, I've been reading a lot about balance, and it seems like the answer is I don't need one. Which makes me wonder, I don't know, when do you need one? Because I don't think I do. And then I have a second question about that after the answer about balance.
JK.
Great question there, KCG. Yeah, preliminary research, it looks like it doesn't need a balun, but I'm sure Fred might be able to provide a better description of why. Yeah, Fred, A0JK, go ahead.
AA0JK. Yeah, usually the purpose of a balun is to compensate for having a balanced to unbalanced configuration in your antenna system. Now, if you've got a dipole and you're feeding it With a twin lead, you've got a balanced to balanced configuration. But when you go to a coax, you have coax is unbalanced, and then your antenna dipole is balanced. That is when each element, the primary element and the counterpole sides, are equal in length. That's a balanced dipole. Then a lot of times you really don't need a balun, but that is considered an unbalanced to a balanced configuration. Now, there's different dipoles. You've got your Wyndham. That's where you have one side is longer, one element is longer than the other. Now you've really got an unbalanced situation there, and then that's where you'd use your balun to compensate for that imbalance and isolating to where you don't have RF coming back down and into the shack. And also, you can use just a one-to-one, what they call a one-to-one balun, which is nothing more than a isolation transformer if you're having problems with feedback coming back down the line, your coax. But without a further description of what kind of a dipole that you put together there, will determine whether or not you need the balun or not, and what type of balun. That's balanced to unbalanced. Balun. AA0JK.
Okay, so in the case of my vertical, which is just like, whatever store-bought diamond 50X, I think is what it was. Anyway, 2 meter 7 centimeter. It's got a ground plane, and it's, I would guess, quite clearly unbalanced given the fact that the ground plane pieces are really small and the vertical is big. So that's being fed with coax right now from my HT, which is what I'm talking on at present. So for that case, I figure no balance needed. The other one is that I just made was a little 6 meter basic dipole. It's, I don't know, half wavelength, and I just actually just plugged the coax into it, and yeah, that's what I did. And then I set it up in my patio because, well, I don't have a shack.
Okay, great. That sounds good. So I hope that now that you got 6 meters, you will join us Sunday mornings at 10 o'clock for the 6 meter net that we have at 10 o'clock Sunday mornings. AA0JK, back to net control. And yes, in those situations, you don't need a balun.
W0TX repeater.
So, question, why don't I need a balun when my dipole is unbalanced and I'm feeding it with coax?
Are we talking about your 6 meter?
Correct, the 6 meter.
Okay, how does your SWR look?
It's all under 2.
I wouldn't worry about a balun.
Now, the other thing on the subject of the dipole is it's a dipole, and, well, I guess if I make it vertical, then I have to, like, somehow run my coax out, what is it, a quarter wavelength, you have to run it out horizontal, and then before you come down to the ground, I didn't do that. I just left it horizontally, I just left it up horizontal, which means getting into the repeater, that's wrong, but still, it worked anyway. So, yeah, any suggestions on that would be useful.
Have you tried an L configuration, to where your counterpoise is horizontal and your other element is vertical, putting you into a vertical configuration?
No, I had not. So the one element goes up, the other element goes out horizontal, and my coax comes straight down to the ground?
Well, preferably the coax goes to the radio.
Okay, that I don't understand.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to be cute here, and it didn't work.
Okay, well, I'd like to understand the joke.
The same as if it was both elements were horizontal. That way you don't have to extend your coax up in that configuration. You just merely put one element up vertically and the other one horizontally, and then run the coax into your radio, your tuner or your radio there.
I'm sorry, I think I doubled on you. So the one element goes up, another element goes horizontal, and then the coax comes back down to the ground, say vertically.
No, just bring it right straight into the radio.
So how is the coax running from the antenna feed point?
Whatever is required to get it from the antenna to the radio, it's not critical.
Ah, okay, so that part doesn't matter. But I need an L-shaped dipole in that case.
Affirmative, affirmative.
Interesting. So then I would do that and then bust out my antenna analyzer and see what it looks like. Is that about correct?
Should look real good.
And that'll give me some vertical polarization. Is that the whole point of the exercise, that I have at least an element that's vertical?
Affirmative, affirmative. That should put you into a vertically polarized configuration, yes.
Thanks, very interesting. I'll have to reconfigure that and give it a whack. Thank you.
Also saves on space, to whereas you don't have the length that you would have to have for horizontally configuration there. So it shouldn't take up much room at all. So sounds like you're on the right track. AA0JK, keep us posted.
KCG, back to net.
All right, KCG and A0JK, a good conversation here about L-shaped dipoles and how to get polarization you're looking for. So yeah, hopefully things work out for you on that, and yeah, let us know. So yeah, very, very cool. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. I'll go ahead and actually just take a moment to take official check-ins to the net. If you've just tuned in, my name is Daron, K1DBC, call sign Kilo 1 Delta Bravo Charlie. I am Net Control for the Denver Radio Club Learning Net. It's an on-air meeting for radio amateurs seeking help, and Elmers giving their time to help us. Everyone is welcome to join in. If there's anyone who wishes to check in at this time, please do so with your call sign, if you can, using ITU Phonetics, your name, and state if you have any traffic or questions for the net. Please call now.
Kilo 0 Lima, Papa Romeo, Lanier and Inglewood, with a question.
Whiskey Delta 6, Delta Oscar Kilo, Rich in Arvada. No traffic. Good evening to all.
All right, Net Control, I'd like to welcome all of the following check-ins. K0LPR Lanier with a question. WD6DOK Rich. And it was a bit hard to read, but I believe it was KD0DUJ Chris. So if you just tried to call in and I didn't call your call sign, please try once more. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. One more time, if you'd like to check into the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net just for the counter, if you have any traffic or questions, please call now. Okay, with that, then we'll go ahead and throw it over to Lanier, K0LPR, with a question. Go ahead, the net is yours.
Curious, here in my home in Inglewood, I use a fan dipole for HF and other, like 70 centimeters and 2 meters and 6 meters and so on. Is there anybody else besides me that uses a fan dipole? I never hear anybody ever discussing the fan dipole.
JK.
All right, great question there, LPR. Very briefly, I think we've mentioned it once or twice potentially, but yeah, it doesn't come up too often. It doesn't seem like, but in regards to the fan dipole. But Fred, A0JK, go ahead.
A0JK, and it's good to hear Lanier in there this evening. And I would say right offhand that she's got one of the better dipoles that are available, and I think the biggest reason why we don't hear much more about them is a matter of a lot of folks don't have enough room to put one of those up, and it takes a little space there to be able to string up a antenna like that. But you've got one of the better ones, and by far. And I highly recommend them to anybody who has the room to put one up. AA0JK.
I was new. I was a new ham, and I believe I paid somebody $800. He moved to the East, California or somewhere. He put it up for me. It's homemade, and it's on a system where I can lower it. But it's been serving me well, and let's see, since 2013. That's net, K0LPR.
W0TX Repeater.
All right, very neat there, K0LPR. This is K1DBC. Yeah, glad to hear that. It's been working well for you this whole time. I'm not too sure why we don't hear about it too much. But yeah, as Fred mentioned there's some potential things there. Anything else on that LPR or anyone else in regards to a fan dipole? Go ahead.
JK?
Yeah, A0JK, go ahead.
Yeah, you want to make sure that when you put it up that you don't have any squirrels in the neighborhood. They have a tendency to like these support lines.
I just bought a new squirrel-proof bird feeder today.
Okay, I'll never forget your comments there when you first put that up and the problems that you had with the local squirrel population. oh yes, memories. A0JK.
All right, sounds good there. Very, very neat. All right, I guess if anybody else has any other comments, questions, check-ins, anything else you'd like to bring up in regards to anything we've spoken about so far or anything else, please call now.
Kilo 0, Kilo Papa Sierra, Kevin, late check-in.
Okay, 0E with a comment.
All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. I'd like to welcome Knowledge Following Check-ins, K0KPS Kevin and KS0E Alex with a question. I'll get back to you here in just a moment. There was somebody else trying to check in there, I think. If you'd try to check in or if you had something else to say and you would just try to call in, go ahead and try once more. I just didn't get your call sign too well.
W0CIV, Charles in Denver. Did you get my call, or is my signal too weak?
I got you that third time. The first two times it was quite garbled, very, very in the woods there. But WD0CIV, I got you checked in. Okay, then we'll go ahead and throw it over to Alex, KS0E, with a question. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Daron. I just wanted to say I've been watching the live stream, and this is really neat. I was wondering if there was a way, or if you all had thought about sort of making it official, and I couldn't figure out how to get there. It took me a little while to get there from the club's website, but it would certainly be cool to have a link maybe on the Learning Net page or something like that. Definitely really nifty. So I guess that was the first comment. And the second one was, can you remind me, I haven't checked into the club Sunday meeting in a while. When is field day, and do you have any information about whether or not people are going to be able to bring their own systems, or are we going to do the sort of MCOM trailer mostly this year, or what's going on with that? Thanks.
All right, sounds good. KS0E, Alex, this is K1DBC. Absolutely. Yeah, the club does have an official YouTube page, but it hasn't really been updated. And I've approached them in the past about doing something more officially. As you mentioned, though, it is a little bit buried. If you go into the net listing page and then the Wednesday Night Net, there is a link there. Yeah, if you search for W0TX or K1DBC, it's a lot easier to find. But I get what you're saying, because, yeah, a lot of people make that request, and it'd be nice to be able to make this a little bit more official for the club. And I'm definitely trying to make inroads to make that happen. So we're trying to get there. But, yeah, there is a link on a little bit buried there on the net listing page. I'll go ahead and drop for a moment. All right, and then in regards to field day, yeah, there is. I am making a. I'll be sending out this questionnaire and attendance form. Just trying to get a good gauge about when people are going to attend. It's June 26th, 27th, or 27th, 28th. Last weekend in June, Saturday, Sunday. We're still trying to hammer out details of location. We're still trying to work with the Chief Hosa campground to get something booked there. But we're also working with some other club members. They've been able to bring up some suggestions, so we're working with them too. So still hopefully trying to make field day a thing for the club this year. Nothing's really updated on the DRC website, but again, there's a field day info link, and I should have some better updated information here. This is from last year, but I'll have something here a bit soon. But yeah, still trying to move forward on that. Hopefully there'll be so yeah, as far as the survey goes, it's when and if you'll be able to attend. I'm looking for volunteer positions. If you're able to volunteer for anything, we're looking for coordination, support, meal prep, etc., etc. And then another question about if you'll be able to camp, whether by RV or tent, and then if you have any other suggestions. So something will be sent out to the club as well as posted on the website here as well pretty soon.
JK.
Yeah, A0JK. Fred, go ahead.
A0JK, and also in response to your question about bringing your own radios, I do highly recommend that. I encourage it. And if you want to participate in with the group, the W0TX group, we have folks there that will coordinate the individual stations there, so we're not all trying to transmit all on the same frequencies, but a coordinator will be available to help organize the group. But I know I take my van. I got my van set up for portable operations, and I keep my antennas and my radios in there and bring those to the ham groups there, so that I don't have to try to piece things together at the last minute. And when it comes to takedown, I just hit the starter switch and drive. But I digress. But we do encourage you to bring your antennas and your radios there, and help the club get some more points there for making those contacts. AA0JK, back to net control.
All right, thanks there, Fred. Yeah, I guess to follow up one more on that here. Give me a second here.
W0TX repeater.
Yeah, I guess in sort of in regards to frequency coordination, yeah, in the past we've had some fairly larger stations set up, at least some antennas and whatnot. So if we have the ability to do that, there might be, yeah, we'll just have to do some frequency coordination, make sure we're not overlapping. And yeah, the places where we're looking at should have plenty of space, and you should be able to operate without any overlaps. Yeah, and we're also using some logging software, N1MM, I think. Excuse me, but hopefully there'll be an ability to basically share logs together, so we're not double logging for our club. But hopefully that sort of answers your question there, and anything else on that, KSC or Alex, go ahead.
No, that's great. Thanks to you both for the information. I guess really what I was thinking was it's always nice, and in the lead up to get people asking questions about portable ops on here. So I figured I'd have a couple questions once that all gets figured out. And thanks again, Daron, for taking over this whole thing. And I know it's a ton of work. And when you send that out, I'll look forward to it and see how I can contribute. But yeah, thanks, and that answered the question, and I'll send it back to you.
Perfect, sounds good. Yeah, if you're a club member, you should see an email coming out here soon. Otherwise, you can always visit our W0TX website, and it'll always be there's a field day link on there, and you can find a link on there. So yeah, we're looking for volunteers, any participants, whoever wants to be a part of it. You really don't need to be of age. You don't need to be a ham radio operator. You don't need to be a club member. There's plenty of opportunities, and there should be a lot of activities, hopefully. So yeah, look out for that survey. Definitely let us know if you're going to at least just be coming one day or the other, and we'll go from there. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. Does anybody else have any other comments, questions, check-ins, or anything else you'd like to bring up for the net? Please call now. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. I can run through a few stories here and then bring it back to the net. We normally end in about 10 minutes, but it's no hard stop. So I guess I'll pass some things. Feel free to jump in at any time, any check-ins or anything like that, and we'll go from there.
WW0LF.
WW0LF. Orlin, got you checked in. You have any comments or questions, or just checking in?
I just heard some of your discussion. Are people asking about bringing their equipment to field day? If we do have a in-person congregation for field day, the club has quite a bit of equipment that they bring in, primarily antennas, feed lines, support structures of various kinds, things that we can set up to do field day. So it would be a very good learning experience for some of the people that haven't been a ham for very long or haven't been involved in a field day. I have to say that that's probably one of the most enjoyable experiences that I've had over the years setting up and doing field day. Over.
JK.
Excellent. Thanks for the follow-up there, Orland WW0LF. A0JK, Fred, go ahead.
Yes, it also provides an opportunity for those who are new to the hobby to actually be able to get in and see how and participate in setting up a radio, setting up your radio and your antennas. So it's a great opportunity. It gives us an opportunity there to work with some of the newer folks and answer some of their questions and how to set up their radios and their antennas. So even if you don't happen to operate the radio during the field day, if you're using the club's facilities, which have been fantastic over the years, and those are a great opportunity to get in there and for us to be able to work with them to introduce them to ham radio and how to operate the radio and answer any questions that they might have. But it's just great all the way around. So whether or not you bring your radio equipment or not, do participate. AA0JK.
All right, A0JK, Fred, this is K1DBC. Yeah, thanks for the follow-up as well. Yeah, and I guess somewhat on that a little bit too is hopefully we can have some sort of a, one suggestion was a place where you can come in kind of like a station, bring in your antenna and radio equipment and test it out and make sure that it's all working correctly and set up correctly. So that's hopefully an option we may have as well. So yeah, great info there, both of you. Thank you so much. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control for the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net. I can pass a few things here. Otherwise, if anybody else has any other comments, questions, check-ins, or anything else you'd like to bring up for the net, please call now. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. I can bring up a few things, bring it back to the net, and then we can check if there's anything else left, and then maybe wrap things up. All right, let's see. Over on, let's see, a couple blogs here we always like to bring up here. If you head on over to RTL-SDR.com, they are speaking about, one of the top articles here is about an open source device for penetration testing for RF purposes. So if you have any need to do any ASK, FSK, GFSK, or MSK modulation type reverse engineering or understanding, excuse me, there's some options here for you. So there's a video of somebody using kind of like a restaurant pager system to page the pager, and then they're using this other tool to basically be a man in the middle, do the exact same thing, so be a transmitter and talk with that. So yeah, very, very cool stuff here. That project is called Evil Crow RF. Looks like you can purchase there's on AliExpress, potentially. Not really available at the moment, but you might be able to check on there again. Another, I forget where I found this article, but another vector network analyzer. We often speak about the Nano VNA. Now this project is called the Libra VNA. It's a 100 kilohertz to 6 gigahertz vector network analyzer. And I don't know if you can purchase it outright. You may need to send out and have the PCB built and firmware put onto it and things like that. But another interesting project, Libra VNA. You can check them out over on GitHub. Another website bring up often is hackaday.com. This article is entitled Whisper WSPR may hold the key to MH370 final position. So the disappearance of the Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 after an unexplained course change sent it flying south over the Indian Ocean in March 2014. Still holds a mystery wreck's final location. There have been a variety of efforts to narrow down a possible search area over the years, and now we have a news of further angle from an unexpected source. It's possible the aircraft could show up in radio scatter detectable as anomalous long-distance radio contacts using the amateur radio Whisper protocol. Much more info. There's this website, mh370search.com. Pretty good title there about WhisperNet and Inmarsat satellite data and how a amateur radio protocol might provide some use in finding this downed aircraft. This is K1DBC. One more article here in regards to GPS-guided parachute recovery systems. And so there's been a lot of weather balloons going up and people tracking it through different amateur radio frequencies and whatnot. But in order to make a project much more reusable, a project called R2 Home by Johan Haji has come up. Goal of the project to design a system with a size of a tube about 47 meters long by 7 meters in diameter, which can be released in free fall from almost anywhere and will automatically deploy a parachute canopy and steer it to a precise GPS point. So they have some videos with action of it, and so yeah, pretty neat stuff. If you ever want to do any balloon launching, this might be an option to get it back to a good known position. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control for the Denver Radio Club. I don't have much more at the moment. I bet I could bring up maybe one or two other things here, but I'll throw it back out to the net. Does anybody have any other comments, questions, check-ins, anything else you'd like to bring up for the net? Please call now.
KPS?
Yeah, K0 KPS. Kevin, go ahead.
Yeah, two items. One is there's one final chance for Skywarn spotter training on May 13th from 18:30 to 20:30 hours. If you go to www.weather.gov/BOU as in Boulder /spot_training. If there's anybody interested in that, it's still one more chance this year for anybody that's interested. And then on another item, you may want to look at your calendars, and on May 26th, the Radio Club will be conducting a siren test with Lakewood City that starts off at 11 o'clock in the morning. You'd need to be there at probably around 10:15, 10:30 at a site, and Jim K0TOR will be soliciting volunteers. So if that's something that you're interested in and your radios are programmed, for the Sunday night net, your radios are good to go, and it's something to keep in mind for May 26th. So that's all I have. Back to net K0KPS.
All right, sounds good there, KPS. Thanks for the information there. Yeah, Skywarn Spotter program, last chance to do some training so far this year, May 13th. And then, yeah, as you mentioned, May 26th. I'm looking at an older article here, but Lakewood Siren Test is coming up. So, yeah, if you are speaking on this net here or the Sunday Night Net, you can participate in that. So, yeah, listen in on the Sunday Night Net, same frequency here, 8:30 p.m., excuse me, for any other further info on that. But yeah, very, very cool. Thanks, Kevin.
K1DBC, KD0DUJ. I'm back. I'm downstairs on the base station.
Perfect. Sounds good, DUJ. Thanks.
Yeah, not a problem. I was going to say I had a comment for K0LPR Lanier with the squirrel issue. I would try putting up maybe because if they're looking to chew through wires, I would try putting hot sauce or some type of liquid around that, so that when they lick it, they're not going to want to mess with it.
Bring their own tacos?
A0JK, KD0DUJ. But yeah, but I'm just saying though that'd probably be the best deterrent for Lanier to do.
All right, KD0DUJ, Chris is K1DBC. Yeah, thanks for the information there. Yeah, sounds like there might be some natural ways to get rid of squirrels there, and yeah, I'm sure there's probably some other ways and repellents and barriers and things like that. So yeah, plenty of info, I'm sure, online if it becomes an issue or if it's an issue. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no problem. And if need be, I can always look that up, and then on the next DRC Learning Net, then I can submit that. To the net, so I'll look it up and find out the best ways to handle that. So anyway, KD0DUJ, back to net.
Okay, sounds good, DUJ. No problem. All right. I have one more thing here, but if anybody else has any other comments, questions, or anything else you'd like to bring up for the net, please call now. All right, one last thing here. Over on our groups.io page about a week ago or so, I had put out just a post, just kind of just checking in, just seeing how things are going, if this net is working well for people, if you're looking for any changes, any suggestions, we're always open. So yeah, feel free to post up on the groups.io page. There's a title, article, additional nets, podcasts, YouTube videos, other opportunities. So yeah, if you want, I could potentially start converting this into an audio podcast if you like, make it easier to digest if you want after the fact. So if you have any other comments, questions on that, yeah, let us know over on the groups.io page, and we can go from there. Okay.
UFO late check-in and an announcement.
Yeah, KD0 UFO. Mike, go ahead.
Good evening, I'd like to invite you to check out my YouTube page. Deals mostly with ham radio, but it got some bug out bag stuff and some first aid stuff and things like that up there as well. YouTube channel is called The Naked Mic, and that's spelled M-I-C as in microphone. You can get it by just doing a search from YouTube on that, or you can go to naked-mic.com, naked-mic.com, and again, that's M-I-C, and that'll get you there as well, too. Just wanted to invite you to check that out and like the page. KD0 UFO, back to the net.
I don't like that he has more subscribers than I do. No, I'm just kidding. All right, KD0 UFO. Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, the Naked Mic. Naked-mic.com with a C, or the Naked Mic on YouTube. Yeah, very, very cool. A lot of good videos here. You have to check it out. Thank you.
Net Control DUJ.
Yeah, DJ, go ahead.
Yeah, Daron, I'm on a website called catchpiece.com, and there are 7 ways to keep squirrels from chewing wires. The number one is use hot pepper repellent sprays to deter chewing. And another one is buy waterproof direct berry wires. That'll also prevent it as well.
All right, DUJ, thanks again for the follow-up on that. Yeah, that's might be some helpful use there, information. Thank you so much.
Not a problem. Is K0LPR still on frequency?
This is K1DBC, K0LPR. If you're still out there, might have some other follow-up on there. If you'd like, go ahead. All right. Yeah, it does not sound like Lanier is still there, Chris.
Okay, no problem. KD0DUJ back to net. But yeah, definitely look at catchpiece.com, and it's / stop squirrels chewing wires. And that's where you'll find all that information. KD0DUJ back to net.
All right, sounds good there. All right, probably start wrapping up the net here. Any other last-minute comments, questions, or any other check-ins to the net? Please call now. Okay, this is K1DBC Net Control. Go ahead and probably start to wrap things up here. So, yeah, more info on our club, W0TX.org. I have another meeting coming up here on May, third week of May. Looks like there's a Summits on the Air event that's occurring. Some more information on there. May 19th for the next monthly meeting. Let me drop here for a moment. Yeah, again, as mentioned during the net, it is buried a little bit, but if you go to the Denver Net listing on the website here and then scroll down to the Wednesday night nets, it is a little mislabeled still, but we have a groups.io page and a YouTube page. You can find links on there. Also, if you just search on YouTube for W0TX, it'll be kind of the first things that come up there. So feel free to check those out. There's no monetization or anything. Feel free to subscribe if you want. Makes it easier to check things out on your smart TV, smartphones, etc., but no need. let's see here. So yeah, this is K1DBC. If you have any, if you ever wish to contact us with any topic suggestions or to set a date to act as net control operator or guest Elmer, you may do so at any time via email at drclearningnet@gmail.com or hamlearningnet@groups.io. You can always just let us know here on the Wednesday nights, and we can always walk you through that as well. This evening we had a total of 15 check-ins. Appreciate everyone being here. Especially appreciate and thank our Elmers. Thanks to the Denver Radio Club for allowing us to use their repeaters for this net. We invite you to join us on the third Wednesday of the month at 6 p.m. for an Elmer session prior to the regularly scheduled Denver Radio Club meeting at 7. This all takes place online. If you go to W0TX.org, you'll find a link in the middle once it gets closer, and you can just join online there. Let's see what else here. So please join us next week, 19:30, 7:30 p.m. Wednesday for the next Learning Net. All stations please stand by while the repeaters are placed into normal mode.
PL on.
All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. Thanks everyone for joining me here this evening, and hopefully things are going well, and you all have a good week, and we'll speak next week. 7 through to all. This is K1DBC. I am clear. All right, thanks everyone for joining me on here. Trying to change things and get things a little bit better, but if you have any comments, questions, or anything, let me know, and we'll go from there. So everyone take care. See you next time.